Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Brains and Beauty. I'm a PhD student studying brains and also a beauty lover, and on my channel I focus on creative conscious consumerism. So part of that does involve project panning. This year my main project pan is the Partners in Cream project pan, where you select like 4 to 5 products that are cream or liquid based and you work on panning them. Now, as I mentioned in my intro at the beginning of the year, I'm only updating every 3 months, so this is my 3-month update. The reason is because I don't like wearing makeup every single day, and I don't like pushing myself to wear it more than I would normally enjoy to wear it, and I just feel like updating once a month, you wouldn't see much progress, so I wanted to wait 3 months so that there's at least some progress to talk about, some experiences to talk about. This project was started by Steph Loins and Dylan from Outward Processing, so I will leave their channels linked in the description box below. But I do want to get into these products now. Oh, you might see a bit of staining still on my hand. I just filmed my Shop My Stash for April. I have like a minimalistic themed Shop My Stash going on, and the theme for April is Mermaid, which is why the nails are also very mermaidy. And yeah, I did a bunch of swatches during that, so I'm a bit stained on my hand. But for that project, I select color cosmetics, but I leave like the base, the concealer, the foundation, color correctors, primers for this Partners in Cream. Okay, so let's start with the Winkylux Rose Blush. Now this one, I was really excited to pan this because I just think it's so much fun to like pan it petal by petal. That was like the idea. And here's where we're at. So if you remember from the introduction, the petal over here, it came broken off because this came, a bit broken in the mail. And I like put it back in and said I would start off with that and then move on to this petal. Now, literally the first use that I went in, I put my finger in to kind of get a little bit of product off of that like broken petal. As soon as I lifted my finger, it just literally flopped out of the container and fell on the ground. So basically we were starting without the petal. That's how we're starting, the one over here. And so all of the numbers are just going to be working on this petal on this side. So I'm actually really happy with the number of uses I have on this. I use this 36 times. So I use this both as a blush on the cheeks, but also as a color corrector. And yeah, it's been working great for that because this is actually quite a sheer type of product. Like it comes off looking pigmented, but you can really sheer it out to the point where it's just like this soft pink hue, and it is buildable. So often I actually go in several times if I want to build up the product. So even this is not that pigmented, so I keep going in a couple times if I really want the color to show. And if I just want like a sheer layer as a color corrector, then I will just go in with one layer. So yeah, I used it 36 times like that. I used it 8 times in January, 14 times in February, and 14 times in March. So that's pretty good uses to me, but I'm still so surprised that like I haven't even finished this petal yet. Like that is that is wild to me. It's 3 months in and I haven't finished this petal. I'm going to have a comparison picture on the screen, but I think it's easiest to see the progress if you kind of compare it to the other petals. So if you look at it compared to this other petal, you can see that it's much shorter. Trying to show you without having the rose fall out. So do you see how this one is just shorter than this one? So I've really worn it down when you look at the height of this petal compared to this one. And definitely the petal has like folded in a little bit just as like pressure over time. I think you can even see from here as well like how it's thinned out and it's moving more in compared to this one. This one's very thick and full. So I am making progress on this. We are panning this petal, but wow, I'm surprised like I haven't finished panning this petal. It still has the base to it, like to the point where I'm thinking it might take another 3 months to actually truly completely empty this part of it. Yeah, so there's a lot of uses and a lot of product in this rose blush, which I mean is not a bad thing. This is actually new to me, so I purchased it in the holidays in 2021, so I'm not like, panicking about it expiring. I'm glad that I like rolled it in as soon as I bought it, because that means I'm actually going to be able to work through this and get as much use out of it before it expires. And I love this. I love having it at my desk. I love applying this. It definitely makes me feel special to feel like I'm just putting a petal on my cheeks. It's just so nice. Like, I really get to live the fantasy when I play with this blush. So I do like it, and it serves its purpose, and I'm enjoying using it, so no complaints there. I'm just surprised that like I couldn't even finish a petal in 3 months. That means like this whole thing, oh my gosh, it could take years. So yeah, that is something to keep in mind if you're planning to get one of these. Now let's move on to the eyeshadow primer. So in January, I was at this line, and now we are here after 3 months. And like this bottle gets bigger as you move closer to the top. And so this amount of progress is actually really good. So I use this 30 times total. I use it 7 times in January, 11 times in February, and 12 times in March. And you can definitely see that jump from like 7 to 11, because in February is when I actually started my Shop My Stash, so I was like more inspired to do a lot more eye looks, and I was using this primer underneath all of those eye looks. I'm really happy because I feel like I've finally built the habit of actually reaching for this before I do eyeshadow. I feel like last year I was struggling because I would like start with my eyeshadow and then totally forget that I needed to put a primer underneath, but that's not the case anymore. Like, I'm always like, it's become habitual to like always put this underneath before I put eyeshadow on. So yeah, it's just a matter of time before I finish it up. I think I might be able to finish up by the next update. Like, I feel like the next 3-month update, I will have this done. I'm really hoping, because yeah, there isn't much, and to be able to get like this part out, I have to squeeze the tube. Like I really have to squeeze it all the way up to get a little bit of the product up and be able to use it. So yeah, this is almost done, which is great. Now moving on to these two products. So the idea is that when I want a more sheer kind of coverage day, I go for this foundation underneath my eyes. And when I want a more heavy coverage, or if I'm doing eye looks and I want to take pictures really up close, so I really want to cancel out all the darkness underneath my eyes, I go with this concealer. And that's kind of how I've been splitting the usages between these two. I don't use this foundation as a foundation because it's just a bit too orange, so I can't put it all over my face. It just doesn't match me properly. Maybe in the summer, as the summer months come, it might be able to pass as a foundation, but it's really hard right now to make it pass as that. So the only way I can use this is underneath my eyes, so that like the purple and the orange in here can kind of cancel each other out, and then it matches the rest of my face. But even when I'm using this underneath my eyes, I still like to add a little bit of coverage sheared out all over my face, so I will still go in with this Too Faced, like lightly dotted in some areas and blend it out. So I guess I keep that in mind when we talk about numbers. I'm almost always wearing this one, whether it's if it's a full coverage look, it's both underneath my eyes and all over my face, and if it's a low coverage look, it's just all over my face, but I'm still using it, so I'm still adding a uses like number to the number of uses. So with that being said, I use this a total of 36 uses in the last 3 months. And that makes sense because I use the blush 36 times as well, and I use these two basically every time I do a makeup look. So yeah, that makes sense. So this one, I used it 36 times. I used it 8 times in January, 15 times in February, 13 times in March. And I mean, it doesn't look like there's that much that has gone down. And I think that just has to do with the fact that when I do use it, I use just a little dot, like maybe 2 dots for my whole face. Like, it's not even like a full swipe. So I use very little of the product because that's just how I am. I just don't use that much product every time I apply things. So it's kind of like I feel bad because I'm like, this is all I've been able to make in 3 months as a dent. As a project planner, it feels like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but at the same time, like I am getting all the uses that I would expect. I mean, the maximum times I would use makeup a month is 15, and for February I used it 15 times, and for March I used it 13 times, so really, like, I am using this. It's just the way I use my makeup makes it hard to use it up because I use very little. And this is even more shameful. I didn't even know if I should draw the line below it because it barely moved. So I used this 22 times, and so I used it 8 times in January, 6 times in February, and 8 times in March. So I did use this one less than this one, but again, this was like I was unable to use this like this one because I only use this underneath the eyes. And also like the fact that it's so little of a change is because this is 1 fluid ounce and I'm using it only underneath my eyes. So if you think of like concealers, not this one, but typical concealers have like 0.2 fluid ounces. So this is like 5 times as much product, and usually normal concealers that have like 0.2 ounces take 3 months to use up. So if I'm only using this up underneath my eyes and it's 1 fluid ounce, that's gonna take me way over a year to use this up. So I don't know what I'm gonna have to do about this because I really do want to use it up this year, and mainly because it's gonna go bad. Like I bought this in 2018. Really keeping it this long is kind of risky, but it doesn't smell off. The quality is still good, and I want to be able to like finish it. But yeah, it's just the color that's not great. So I'm thinking a way to solve that is I did pan the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer last year, and I still have the packaging for that. I might just pump a bit of this in there, maybe put some of this in there to mix it, and then I also have the same foundation but in a different shade that's lighter. This is my mom's shade, so I think I'm going to also mix some of this in just so that I can have a mixture of this that I can use all over my face on days that like I just want a sheer application, so that at least I'm using this a little bit more, because if I'm just using it underneath my eyes, there's no way I'm going to finish it this year. That's what I'm realizing looking at my uses and looking at the change. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to try to do for this foundation, so we'll see how that goes. In terms of the green e.l.f. color corrector, this was not going well. So I only used this 11 times. In January, I only used it once. In February, I only used it twice. And then in March, I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, aren't we trying to pan this? Like, why are you? And then every time I was trying in January, February to use this, I would find some excuse or another not to use it. So in March, I really had to sit myself down and say, why are you not using this? And because the thing is, I do like using a green color corrector by mixing it in with my concealer. And so I was telling myself, like, why are we not doing this if this is something you do like using? And as I like reflected about it a little bit, I realized that in my head, I kept feeling like every time I used this, it made the concealer too thick. And I don't like creamy products. I don't like thick things on my skin. I like liquidy products. Um, so yeah, it's just, I think that was the reason why I was struggling with that. And I think the reason why it was turning so creamy is because I was applying too much of it. I was doing that thing where I just want to pan it and I want to finish it. And so I was like putting a thick layer, mixing a thick amount with this concealer. And I really only need like a swipe of this. So like literally when I'm mixing this for a look, I'll just do one swipe like this on my palm. I'll do this, and then I just mix the two of these together. And maybe I just need a little bit more of this, I feel, to get the tone right. Yeah, and there you go. That is like the perfect fair olive kind of tone that I use on my skin. Um, and so did you see how like little I needed of that e.l.f. green color corrector? That is what I've been doing in March, and March I've been able to use it 8 times. So I went up from like once in January, twice in February to 8 times in March, because this is the like maximum amount of green I can add to a concealer to keep it both my undertone and also like the level of thickness that I'm comfortable with. But beforehand, I was adding like 2 to 3 swipes of this green color corrector because I just really wanted to use it up. And yeah, that's what ended up making me not use it at all. So that's not the way to go about it. So yeah, I'm just going to make sure moving forward that I'm just using one swipe and that I'm always mixing these two together rather than using this alone. That's going to be like the rule, and yeah, hopefully that means that I will make much more progress on this. So yeah, I only used it 11 times, but there is a bit of a, a decrease in the height of the cream. So I'm actually hopeful this time that in the next update, we're going to see some good progress on this. Now, for the last product to discuss, it's the NYX liquid lipstick that I was panning all of last year. I used it 100 times last year. I wanted to keep going with it because I wanted to know how many uses I could get out of a liquid lipstick. And in January, pretty much right after filming my introduction and having this in there, I used it like 3 times, and I had to force myself to use it those last 2 times because it was just off. Like, the smell is so bad, and by the second time, the third time that I was trying to force myself to use it, I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, it smells so off. So, yeah, I couldn't pan this, and I was actually really upset because, like, this is not the oldest, like, lip product in my collection. My MAC built lipsticks are actually much older than this, and it's just starting to worry me. And the reason why I didn't pan my matte lipsticks is because I only have a select number of shades in those, and if I lose one or pan one, I have to buy it again. So it's almost like there's no point in actually trying to pan one. Like, I want to always have access to those colors. I'm not trying to like use up a bunch or I don't have enough. Like, I have the exact colors that I need to be able to mix other colors. So if I lose one, I have to repurchase it. So I'm not trying to pan those ones. I'm just rotating them in my shop my stash. But like, it's just, it makes me feel really bad knowing that like I won't be able to use up the product. It just feels so wasteful. So yeah, I was upset when this went bad because it just reminded me again that my bullet lipsticks are probably not going to last much longer. They're probably going to go bad too. And yeah, it just made me really upset that I would have to purchase again those bullet lipsticks and just purchase again lipstick that I will never be able to use up. And it was just this frustrating cycle. I have found a solution. I'm not going to tell you yet what it is because I am going to do a review on it at the end of the month. I did purchase something that basically solves all my problems, so I'm less in a state of like just being upset at myself, being upset at the market, being upset at everything, and I'm a little bit more like, okay, there was a solution that's been developed, so everything's okay now. But yeah, this is like a lesson learned. I'm not planning to purchase this, product again because the formula wasn't that great either. Like, it's a type that sticks to itself, which is weird. Like, it's not a sticky formula, but it sticks to itself when you close your lips. So I always had to pair it with something else in the center of my lips. So yeah, not a formula that I enjoyed. I'm not mad about this specific product, losing it. I was just upset that like the knowing that if this is going bad and I bought this after my other lip products, everything's gonna go bad soon. I just had a little mini panic. But yeah, I've solved the issue, and so I did roll in January the only other 2 remaining liquid lipsticks in my collection, which are these NYX lip creams, and these are a really nice formula. I prefer it way more than the lipstick lingerie, so I have been using these 2 since January and kind of trying to pan them together because I know alone I don't really use either of these shades, and I'd just rather get them both out of my collection. So yeah, that's what I've been doing since January, just right after the 3 uses where I realized that this was just not gonna work because it's expired. So I used the shade Dubai 13 times, once in January, 5 times in February, and 7 times in March. And I used the shade Tokyo 13 times as well. So once in January, 7 times in February, and 5 times in March. And I've been using them, like I said, mixed together. I've been using them mixed with the bullet lipsticks that I am shopping my stash for each month to kind of adjust their shade if I want to play around that way. So yeah, these have been really nice to play with. I can't tell how many uses are in here because, there is no ability to see inside the tube. But they don't feel that full. Like, I don't get a lot of product on the wand when I swipe it, so we'll see. I'm not really sure how long they'll last, but I feel like I could pan these 2 this year. Okay, so that's it for my update. I'm technically not rolling anything out or changing anything. I just gave you the update on my experiences and the uses. And I did bring these two in January, and I'll continue with these two. So yeah, that's basically it for this update. I really hope by the next one I'll have the primer done, and I expect to see a lot better progress on this color corrector, and maybe this too, you know, if I'm able to mix this in with the other foundation that's lighter and use that mixture on my face, maybe I'll make more of a dent in this foundation. But that's basically it. I'm enjoying these products. I'm happy that I get to focus on them in this project. Before we wrap up, I actually did want to give a shout out to the store where I bought these press-on nails. So typically I actually make my own press-on nails, but um, Orielle on YouTube is another small beauty creator, and she also designs these really gorgeous press-on nails, and I wanted to support her. She was having like a 50% off in January just because she really needed to prioritize growing that business. And yeah, so I went ahead and I placed an order, and they're really cute. I think this is the first video that's going to go up with me wearing these. I might post a short of like the unboxing because the packaging was so cute. But yeah, if you are interested in nails, if you do wear press-on nails, I will leave her shop linked in the description box and also her channel, so you can go check her out. Alright, I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!